about here. I just rendered it up. You can see like right at the edge of that coffee, that beautiful translucency that gives it a real coffee flavor. And this little bit of reflection up on the edge where the I made the surface curve up a little bit adds a little bit more of that realism. And then I rippled the surface to get that texture. So I'm going to add a couple more things. I had this idea. So I'm going to go back to design. I'm going to try to add some cream into this. I've got a cross section on, so I could look at the how it what it looks like inside. I'm going to turn that off, and let's see which one I'm going to do first. I'm going to go way back into edit my original mesh, and I'm going to try to make some cream pouring into this. So I'm going to select these four just by holding Shift and then Shift arrow up until I get all these. And then I'm going to edit this form, shrink these down a little bit, and move them off center because that's where the cream is going to be spilling into my cup. And I can see this is getting a little bunched up over here, so maybe I'll pull that one out a little bit. So this will be the little area where the cream is pouring in. I'm going to just push this center down just a... Oh, see, and when I press this down, I could see there's definitely an issue here. There's an extra piece in here. So I might see if I can repair this. Utilities, auto repair. And see, it did something, it fixed this, but now these T-splines are acting all weird. So if I just click on each one of these T's, and I gotta go all the way around and turn those into star points, that usually fixes the problem. So if there's anything ever happening, yeah, see now I could just grab that center point, and this is going to be kind of the I don't know what the official term is, but it's that drip where the cream is going to be pouring into. And I'll shrink this one up a little bit. And maybe I'll add a couple more ripples in here. So I've got that selected. I'm going to go into Modify, Insert Edge. Let's go on the outside by dragging. Actually, let's do both sides. Single, both. That'll give me two edges to play with. And maybe this one will raise up, and I'm just double selecting, and this one I will lower down, and we'll say okay. I don't know if this will work. I might need to add some more. Let me add one more out here. Insert edge. Well, let's do two. So that whipped down, and now it's up, and so this one's going to go down. Edit form, drip. This one's got to go back up. And I could grab a bunch at a time and do this. Grab every other one and pull them up, and every other one push down. So now I got this kind of, and you see this kind of weird surface modeling. That's just showing me what it was compared to what it is. So that'll be good. So I'm going to save this, and actually I need to make the cream pouring down. I'm going to make a cup. But first, let's just make a tube of cream. So I will say a cylinder. And now I'm gonna, let's see, I guess I want to pick this plane, this lower plane, and it's not letting me select it sometimes. You have to start underneath. So I'm gonna expand this. This is a small little tube of cream. And I'm gonna go up instead. And this is going under, I'll move it after I make it. So I think this is probably all okay. Edit form. Okay, so now I'm going to grab it and put it more or less in the center. I'm going to raise it up until it's just going in there. That is a lot of cream, so I'll shrink that down just in 2 dimensions. So by grabbing this one, so there will be that. And it's never perfectly cylindrical, so let's just give it a little bit of irregularity. So I'll just kind of push and pull on some surfaces. And here it's a good idea to grab some pictures of cream pouring. Actually, I think I did grab one. Maybe we'll twist this, see what happens there. Yeah, it looks kind of cool. And then I'm going to do one more thing. So I'm going to cut off the pour. I'll make a little picture later, but Let's go ahead and just take a look at this. So I got a finish form. And we got to make this into some sort of milky substance. So I'm going to modify appearance. And maybe there's some translucent plastics. So we got transparent, but let's try translucent. We got gray, translucent, glossy white. I'm hoping this will look like milk. And we'll close that. And actually I'm going to, because I think we might see this through the, well, let's just try it. So I'm going to do one more tricky thing. I'm going to make a decal of some swirls on top of this. And actually now I'm looking at it, it might not work because it doesn't like to go over multiple surfaces. So what I was going to try to do, let's go over to Photoshop. I just made this little swirl on white on a brown background just so I could see what it looked like. I'm actually just doing the transparent is all I need. And I'm going to use the warp brush, which is, I forget where it is, view, no, window, filter, liquefy. And I've chosen this spiral brush. I'm not sure if this is going to work, but I just want to give it kind of this swirly, a little bit more organic, kind of like what was going on there. Let's mess with that a little bit more. Let it go. Maybe this will be the where the cream is coming in. But actually, I had an idea. I'm going to take this and filter, apply Gaussian blur. So come on, filter. Oh, I got to get out of here. Okay. I wanted this to be a little bit softer, so I'm going to filter, blur, Gaussian. And here you just kind of slide this to where it looks, woo, too much. Because the cream really does kind of stay like its own thing, but I just didn't want it to be such a hard edge. So I'll try that, and I'll go back in and liquefy. Filter, liquefy. And then that will tighten up the kind of, so this will be the little area where, and I could use a bracket to go down in size, so I want this a little smaller. Details here. Come on. That looks interesting. I'm going to crop this down. This seems like it's oversized, so we'll say okay. And see how it got, like it's tighter in the tight curls and then softer in the outside. So, and I kind of like that little bloop there. It looks like a drip or something. So let's crop this down. Let's get rid of the background now because we don't need that. Actually, let's crop first so we can see image. Oh, no, over here, crop. There we go. So all I need is the swirl. And I don't know if this is really going to work, but I'm going to give it a shot. So now I can get rid of the background, delete layer 0, and I'm going to save this as, save to my computer. And I'm going to try a, I forget what it is, a PNG. For some reason, Fusion likes those. Or an SVG is also good. So this is Cream, C-R-E-M. Creative Cloud files. Let's go right to my desktop. Or I'll go to my Fusion tutorial. So Cream, save as a copy. If it gives me an option somewhere in here to keep transparent. Large file size. Okay. Well, hopefully that worked. Let's go back over to Fusion. And let's see if this works. So I've got to be in the render environment. And then I've got to use this second one over here. This is decal. And the face, this is what I was afraid of. I'm not sure if it's going to be able to select all of these at once, but let's try all of that. 5 selected, and then click on our image. And desktop, Fusion tutorial. cream PNG. Oh, it's looking good. Okay, so then it gives you some options. This is the little resizer. So I'm going to resize that enough to squish this over here. And the nice thing is this is actually transparent. So even though the cream is going to look opaque, the coffee should still look transparent. In fact, I'm going to make it even a little bit more. So let's say appearance, and this was our fake coffee. And so absorption distance, I'm going to move that up just a little bit more. Let's say 7. And say OK, close this. And now let's, and I will Photoshop some steam coming out of this later, but let's do a little in-canvas render here. Ooh, juicy, juicy. Isn't that just beautiful? So I am going to take this a little further, but again, I'm going to stop. I'm going to try to do these in little shorter sections so you can see. You could just choose the section you want. And I'll let this render up, but I'm going to stop for now. This is a super quick tutorial. Oh, actually, no, I'm not going to stop right now. I'm going to do one more thing. I always forgot about this. I am going to do my selection again. Instead of bodies and components, I'm going to select faces. And I am going to select a glossy white. Paint, glossy white. And if I have faces selected, I can come in here and just select that inside. And a lot of cups have that kind of inner color of a different color. And I might select the edge too. And depending on if I want it to go, I think I've got just a little teeny flat surface in between, so it might be kind of hard to, well, let's just see. I'll try white on this outside. Yeah, see, there's a little teeny tiny, I have to turn this locked view off and zoom way the heck in if I want to get that. And I'll stop this for a second. So I got that one last little edge. And if I go back to appearances, if the second time I do it, always defaults to bodies. So I got to go back to faces, select my glossy white, and drop it in that little edge there. And now that is coming all the way around. And I think I want the handle up in front. And then notice also these reflections are super cool in that ripple. So I want that in there. Let's get down so we just get enough of it. Let's scoot this down a little bit. And now let's hit render and see what happens. So some of my cream is coming out in front towards the edge of the rim, so I might want to turn this around, but I like that little ripple effect, so I'm going to leave that and let it render up. And right now I'm going to stop this. Thanks for watching. This is Brian Galassa.